Hello, and welcome to our first Red Hat Summit virtual experience. Thank you all for joining us today during this time of unprecedented change. My name is Paul Cormier. I've been with Red Hat forever, but for the first time in 19 years, I actually have a new job in Red Hat. I'm now the president and CEO of Red Hat. And like many of you, I'm working from home. For me, that's my home near Boston, Massachusetts. In spite of us joining virtually, we can we stop? Can we start over? Hello, are we there? Welcome everyone. Welcome back. I'm here today with have a conversation with Srini Kalapala, who is the Vice President of Technology and Supplier Strategy for Verizon. Thanks so much for joining us here at Red Hat Summit 2020, Srini.
It's my pleasure, Paul, to be part of this event. I guess these are the new norms so that now we do things virtually and gather larger, broader set of people in this manner.
Exactly. Just a few things. Maybe we could I could ask you a few questions, and maybe we start with just checking in. How are you in the Verizon family doing right now, and considering and where we are in the world right now?
These are indeed extraordinary times. Verizon is doing very well. I think we've always been a critical service. Now we've become even more critical, as you can see, with most of the world population now, at home and trying to at least lead a normal work life. The services we provide are becoming a lot more critical. Um, to give you some sense of what is a new norm for us is, so we used to look at Mother's Day calling as the peak from our network perspective, and now we've surpassed that many times, and that indicates what is happening around us. The other point is, if you look at our own technicians who are setting up connections even in these difficult situations. For example, we had one of those Navy care ships dock at New York City, and we had to have cellular connectivity set up for them in a literally matter of 24 hours. And what we're seeing is that our employees and technicians are innovating on the fly, noticing that when they have to go to a customer's home and set up connectivity, they see that they have the potential for corona and others, both for the safety of the customers and themselves. And we started innovating, and now we have a what we call a virtual connection being set up. They come to your home, they set up the connectivity outside, but then they use this virtual app to guide the customer to go through the inside, right? So we are learning as we go through this. The we are about 150, 160,000 employees, and majority of our employees now work remotely. And we had to make the shift in a very short time. We still have a lot of customers calling us for support for equipment and whatever else, and we had to make sure, given we are a critical service, that we had to make sure that we are able to deliver those experiences in a very uninterrupted manner. And then finally, one point I want to bring up is, I'm very proud of what Verizon is doing in general in the society at this time. We've partnered with first responders and the teachers and others, and we're giving them services and the capabilities at a much higher level, without any additional cost. We've brought in the small business restaurants in New York City with the hospital staff, and we basically got them together and said, we'll pay, you can order whatever food you want, and we're kind of doing things. We've gotten 14 million high school kids in US now can get New York Times subscription free for the next 1 year. So we're doing things our part for the society, especially during this difficult times.
So I mean, it sounds like just a whole new set of challenges that you all have had, through this, and it sounds like you're working them one at a time and in real time, and so that's just great, But I mean, Verizon really has consistently been at the cutting edge of new technology while still providing stable, affordable, reliable platforms for your customers. I mean, that's been the hallmark of what Verizon is, and how have all your investments in technology advancements help you keep providing that, help you with your customers and your partners, and how they need to even survive and work even successful? I mean, what role has technology and new technology played in that?
Indeed, it is actually playing, and I'll have a couple of examples as I talk through. But being the kind of service we are and the kind of company we are, um, we've prepared for emergencies. We've prepared for situations like this. But the difference is that whether it is hurricanes and tornadoes and whatever else, they don't usually happen across the U.S. in a sustained manner for the last 5, 6, 7 weeks, right? So what we had to this is a very different kind of situation that we had to get used to. And the consistent investment that we made into our network, I mean, we put multi-billion-dollar capital into our networks every year, both building the capacity as well as transforming them to meet these needs. And that, as you can see, that's paying off. And the kind of caliber of engineers that we have, and the talent we have, that is also helping us in ensuring that we are able to tackle this in a sustained manner. Um, to give you a very specific example, what has this particular event has done is now you have all of the customers working from home. So that means the cells that used to be congested are no longer congested, are not congested, or at least the busy they're no longer busy. But the suburban and the other cellular towers that are used to only take traffic in the night, so now sustained with traffic all day. So virtualization is an example that actually helped us a lot. So as these customers are working from home all the time, we had to increase the capacity on on those applications and others. If we hadn't done virtualization, this would have been a multi-week, multi-month effort to bring in new capacity and in the older ways. Now, in a matter of few hours, we were able to bring the capacity up and get everybody get the kind of critical service they require. So certainly, the shift that we are taking is helping, and partly, you are part of the journey, at least for us to get to the point where we are.
Well, that's great. We're proud of that too. Our two companies, leading into that, our two companies have worked together for a long time, and now we're partnering again on the incredible journey to 5G. What do you think is the greatest opportunity for you and your customers in the next wave of innovation for Verizon? And also, just to follow up after that, how do you think others can learn from you?
Yeah, I'm going to get a little bit nostalgic before I get towards I think where we are heading, right? If we look at IBM, I mean, now you're part of IBM. We've had a very long relationship with IBM. I mean, from the days of switched voice networks that we've been partnering, and in many areas they've helped us, and we've innovated together. And then we started certainly partnering with you as a telco about 6, 7 years ago, as we started our virtualization journey in a very serious manner. Um, the innovation DNA, it's been part of our DNA when it comes to networks. If you look at what you've done, 2003, we started talking about deploying fiber to the home. We were the first one to deploy 2G, 3G, 4G networks, and even 5G. We were the first one to be the ones to launch. We pushed the entire market towards that. But it's not only that we we build and drive these networks, and I think we become the catalyst. We become the foundation for the innovation that happens around us, right? So if you look at it's the fiber networks and the 3Gs and 4Gs are the ones that drove the whole video transformation, OTT, and we were the ones we drove untethering people from their desks and their phone to really truly mobile, and then do whatever business they need to do. And then with 4G, certainly the social media and the e-commerce, I mean, truly took off. So when we start looking at 5G with all the features that it is going to bring in, whether it is slicing, whether it is the 8 different currencies and whatever else, you start, it has the potential for the driving the fourth industrial revolution. Now, we certainly are pushing 5G, but it's the way we are deploying 5G networks. I think that is going to really give all of us a kind of flexibility to to manage this ever-changing environment. So, for example, 5G will be the truly cloud-native network compared to the previous versions of the networks. We're certainly working with you in bringing that capability, the platform layer to into our networks. Whether it, all the way from RAN to the core networks, it'll be fully built on cloud native set of application, cloud native stack. What it allows us is that it then allows us to scale the way web scale companies have been showcasing their technology. It allows us to be as flexible as the technology allows us to, so that we can deliver new services and new capabilities in a much quicker and customer centric manner. And then finally, with this kind of a cloud infrastructure that we're going to deploy across the footprint, it allows us to empower and enable the edge ecosystem so that the others can start innovating and truly start delivering things that we haven't even imagined of, right? I mean, AR, VR, and whatever else. So there are lots of things in pipeline.
I mean, it's quite a journey. I mean, one of the big things now is we're all building to and working to is hybrid cloud. And as we think about hybrid cloud architectures and cloud native development and how applications play in that world, do you think we need to think differently in how we deliver our services and experiences, including all the way out to the edge?
Absolutely. And I'll start where the telco industry start driving the shift. In 2015, 2016, we started moving towards VNFs and virtualization world. It's definitely been a new area for us and our suppliers, and we had to work through our own, call it kinks, to get to the point where now we are driving a lot of our network traffic through the virtualized infrastructure. And as I mentioned, even during Corona, we are able to change our capacity needs depending on where the customers are quickly because of what we have done. But as we look towards the future, and as we look at 5G and the promise it delivers, a couple of things we have to do is we have to deploy a very consistent infrastructure across our footprint. And that means we not only need us to think in that manner, but we require the likes of Red Hat, the likes of the suppliers who are delivering all the packet code and other softwares, to start thinking of this, call it uniform technology, to ensure that we speed up the delivery. We take away the friction within our entire environment. So for us, architecturally, we would ask the entire community to lean towards web scale for 5G. We would ask the likes of Red Hat to really take the leadership position there and start kind of driving everybody else around in the community to get there. If we can get everybody to that common, call it operations model, then I think we would be able to deliver the foundational capabilities faster, which means that we will then drive the rest of the ecosystem to get onto this and then do whatever innovation that they need to do.
Yeah, I mean that's great. I mean, you sort of laid out a little bit of what I was going to ask. I mean, but maybe there's more. I mean, we've had such a long partnership, and I'd love to hear from you. And you just laid some of it out. Is there anything else that we could more be doing with you? We could to for telcos overall. I mean, including Verizon, especially Verizon.
Absolutely. I think there is a lot we can do together, and absolutely you can help us with us too. So when we look at, if you look at how the telco virtualization is evolving, as I said, we started this journey 2015, 2016, had some level of kinks because everybody had to get used to this idea of separating hardware from software, and then making sure that they work independently. You guys certainly jumped into the ideas of IPv6. You drove that through the community. You drove the the ideas of CPU pinning, NUMA awareness, and others, right? You helped us absolutely in that world. Now, when we look at web scale, certainly what I would look for from Red Hat would be, as we look at your software, things like OpenShift and others, we want you to lead not just the telcos, but the entire ecosystem. So partnering with the common suppliers that we all look at, and partnering with the application and other providers to get them towards this the view that we are putting together. We look for your leadership there. I mean, you become the common denominator across all of us, and we're looking for you to kind of drive that. That's, I would say, that's one area. The second thing is we. In some ways, if you look at the telco world is following the web scale and other world a little bit behind. We're not looking for anything different for telco from what WebScale and others are getting from you or from the in general open source community. We think we'll need the same things. It'll probably what we will need is we're not different from anybody else, but our requirements in terms of performance, reliability, and others are a lot higher than the others. This is where we look for hardening of the product and driving the community to meet some of those needs across the telecom community.
We've always had that strategy. That's why one of the reasons we've worked so closely with you and some of the other telcos is if some of the things that we bring to harden and features we bring in our products that satisfy the telcos are absolutely necessary across the enterprise as well. So it really does go hand in hand. And I think we've really, I mean, if you remember the days of carrier grade Linux, right? I'm sure you do. I mean, we used to get pressure all the time to build another version of carrier grade Linux. And our strategy with that is let's not build carrier grade Linux. Let's build carrier grade into Linux. And it's the same thing as we move our products. And I think you are a great partner to help us, and frankly, it helps the industry as well as we do this. So, Srini, thank you very much for joining today. We really, really appreciate the work we do together. We absolutely look forward to continuing that. Thank you very much.
Paul, it's my pleasure, and I look forward to us driving this forward.
Talk soon.
Thank you.
Hello,